The Democrats have evolved to the party of defending criminals, murderers, rapists, illegal aliens, and they're not doing it yet, but apparently I'm seeing posts on X saying that dogs are bad for the environment. I hope they latch on to this. If the Democrats latch on to this narrative like they did with the cow farts and trying to eliminate cows, they want to eliminate dogs. Please, 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 please latch on to this narrative of exterminating all the dogs off of the planet. Please do this. Oh my god, that would be hilarious. What do they stand for? Like, are you serious? Like, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. It makes no sense. Are they really going to come out and advocate for the extermination of all the dogs for climate change? Is that what's coming out next? These people are supposed to be for like PETA and like against animal cruelty, which I am too. I'm against animal cruelty, and in fact, I am for the environment. I don't want to see the environment look like crap. I want to see a healthy environment. With the climate change, you know what? This is what I think of climate change. I think oil, it might have a slight, you know, tick, carbon, our carbon footprint or whatever. It might be contributing to a little bit of mischief in our weather patterns, or maybe slight increase over time with the temperature rising. But I'm thinking, how they like anything that comes out, forest fires, really bad hurricanes, tornadoes, and man, that's horrible when that stuff happens. But they neglect to understand that we're having a lot of solar storms right now. And when we have a lot of radiation coming off the sun, I know this is crazy. It affects our atmosphere. That our atmosphere protects us from all that. Obviously, like it kind of gives us like a protection. It gives us some protection from space, so we have air we can breathe, and carbon dioxide, but it also protects us from the radiation and the solar flares. So we've been having a huge uptick in solar flares, and from what I'm thinking is the sun is expanding, and from what I'm not an expert, obviously. I'm not an expert in anything, but from what I heard, they think the sun is expanding. So it makes me think that one day that Mars might be like Earth at some point. At some point we won't be, I think Earth will probably be like Venus. That's what I think. I don't know billions of years from now or whatever, but that's what's happening. We have a lot of solar flares, and these people are just trying to push an agenda. That's all they're doing. They're trying to suppress us. These people, like we just had some senator that just went to El Salvador to try to meet with their president, and he rejected. Like, I'm not gonna meet with you, dude. I've never even heard of the guy anyway. And he's trying to act like he's a constituent. Where, like, how is he a constituent if he can't vote? That's what I want to know. This guy is an illegal. He is not a citizen, and I see all the left, like the left keeps saying Trump is sending citizens, and I mean, honestly, like, I want to hear like people defend Dylan Roof getting sent to some max prison in another country. Defend that. Is that a bad idea? I mean, I'd be fine with sending somebody like Dylan Roof to a max facility, because I look at it kind of like we're kind of like how they done with our jobs. We're just kind of like offshoring, it's cheaper labor somewhere else, and it's cheaper to facilitate them somewhere else instead of it here in America. And I think it's a good idea. That's offshore are criminals, not not petty criminals, okay? But the worst of the worst, the people that should never be allowed out again. Um, you can do appeals. You can still do it. They don't have to be in court. You can do Zoom. This isn't the old days. They can send them out of here. Um, this is a great. I'm for exiling. So you know, this is unconstitutional. I'm not a constitutional lawyer. Um, this is something that they have to figure out. But I mean, how many Americans like seriously would be have a problem with somebody like Dylan Roof getting sent to El Salvador or some other country that wants to create max prisons to incarcerate these people? I'm just like anybody who watches this in the comments, you just go ahead and put your opinion on that. Would you be fine with that? Would you have a problem with somebody like Dylan Roof who shot up a black church? Would you have a problem with him being sent somewhere else? The guy's been convicted. I don't know if he's on death row. These people, they can still appeal. Why do they have to be incarcerated here in America? To have an appeal. Like my idea was with something like Greenland or like Canada, it would be a really good idea to have some of these facilities in some of these frigid areas. So if any of these people did escape, they wouldn't make it that far. But yeah, I don't really care about their rights. I mean, they didn't care about the rights of their victims. And I'm all about due process. I'm not just if somebody gets allegations and they get set there right away. Not it's you go through the process. And I understand our justice system is really, really messed up right now. But if somebody's admitting to it and you got a ton of proof and it's hard to, I mean, you got physical proof. You got DNA of a rape victim and it's this guy's semen or something. You know what I mean? Get that fucker out of here. That dude raped that woman. I want him dead. You know what I mean? Why would we want him ever out again? He destroyed that woman's life, or a man, usually a woman, but they should just be gone and save us money. But it's crazy that, and I know that, oh, you're authoritarian. But, tough times call for tough measures. So, we really don't have much money. We really don't. We really can't be printing anything else out because we'll be having high inflation, and we're gonna have to pretty soon. There's no other way around it. We're gonna have to print money, and we're gonna hyperinflate our dollar out at some point. The dollar isn't worth saving. It's oppressing us. You know what I mean? That's the problem. It's the dollar is oppressing us. And what it is the New World Order or the WEF, these globalists, they had a plan and I think that they did some things in 2020. And I don't have any proof. I just look at patterns and I look at the way things are going. And it's just kind of how did it get released? And it was created in the lab, and it's we are funding it. And why were we doing gain of functions on these? What's the purpose of that? And I don't know what they're doing, man. I don't know the end goal for these people, but yeah, I want to live in a civil society, okay? I want to live in a high trust society where I don't feel like I have to watch my back all the time. I don't have to pay extra money when I go to the store because everybody's just looting and I have to get foot with the bill. And I think that anybody who watches this probably agrees. Why would people who are okay, if you're really hard up and you're starving or something, but there's other ways. We have all kinds of ways for people to not starve. I mean, there's tons of food pantries. There's tons of charity, and in fact, the tax dollars, they pay for Taco Bell for people on food stamps now. Arkansas is trying to take that stuff away though. Like you won't be able to buy snacks and pop, so that's pretty cool. And it should be like that. You should only be able to get like certain essential things that keep you alive. If you're really that hard up, that you need to have the taxpayers funding you. And I'm not like, hey, listen, man. Um, it's one thing if like you're on disability, but I'm talking about like the people who are just like continuously and they're able body. You know, like like there's a lot of women that basically use it as a baby daddy. They use the government, and that's a big problem. And that's why a lot of our we're in such huge debt is because we owe a lot in welfare, and it's unfortunate. And yeah, if we had good jobs here, um, that would be awesome. And we also like we need better health. We need a lot better stuff. Like we're supposed to be the greatest country in the world, and it just doesn't feel like it. I mean, who really feels like it at this point? People should be taken care of. People on disability, people who are elderly, children, all these people should be taken care of. But the thing is, like, there are people who go on welfare and they keep on popping out kids with fucking losers. And then we have to foot the bill, so, keeping these people alive. And it's just like, at some point, it's like, dude, I mean, you can't keep doing that. And there is some women that do that. They're just like, I want to get more food stamps, more kids, more food stamps. That is our mentality, and we can't keep doing that. We literally can't keep doing that. We have to cut stuff. So yeah, that's kind of crazy. I want to see if the Democrats go ahead and stick to this or latch on to this. The dogs are hurting the environment. Oh man, there's people that love dogs more than people. So like, people there might be leftist women. That's the big problem is leftist women, and a lot of them love their dogs. A lot of them have dogs, and like this, that's I hope that they latch on to these radicals. I'm in a little bit better mood. I went over. Oh man, like I hate changing passwords. What they say is you're supposed to change all your passwords every like 6 weeks, not 6 weeks, every 6 months, and I don't want to say how often I do mine, but got a little bit lazy. It was like the ones that like I don't really care about, like that, like Snapchat or something. Like I really don't care about that. Like I don't care about changing that much. But the essential ones, I'm like I keep on, like the ones that have to do with my finances and stuff like that. And another thing too is like I looked at my credit score, which is horrible, but I thought it was gonna be a lot worse than it is. But it's still bad. It's not good. It's at 542 because I'm reconsolidating my debt right now. And looking at my debt, and I looked at like my total debt, what I have right now, and it's like, if I work hard, I can cut that in half this year. Like the rest of, I might be able to do even more if I just like kind of live minimalistically. And again, when I was kind of upset this morning, like thinking about this stuff, and I hate changing passwords. Like, and it's like I gotta start applying more. And on Indeed, like applying for jobs on Indeed, you send out the automatic resume, and I don't think that they really appreciate that, like places, you know what I mean? But it's like, I don't want to go on your website, create a user ID, and I hate that crap. I hate creating user IDs and passwords. It's such an annoying thing. And then you have to like fill everything out. It's so stupid, you know what I mean? I could put the resume up, but still I hate having to plug in my information over and over again for these places that, and I've said this before, where, listen, let me give you some general information, and if you're thinking about bringing me on board, then yes, I'll go onto your website and I'll put all of my information in. But it's so stupid for me just to like put in all my information to all these different places manually at that. It's like, man, it's such a drag doing that. Um, and it's so funny too. Like when they look at my, I'm sure a lot of these places that are looking at my resume are like, this guy hasn't had like, he hasn't stuck with the job for like 6 years, you know, and it's like, so what? You know, I've averaged over a year at each place. So, what about their turnover? Why do they have an opening? You know what I mean? So it's like they act like these employers act like you're fucking basic, like they're fucking gods or something. Like they're not gods, but they're like royalty, and like it's such a privilege for me even to like be interviewing with them, and they have the dumbest like phony questions that you're just supposed to say, like I'm gonna make myself look bad. How many times have you missed work? Or how many like what would you do in this situation? Or blah 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 blah. It's like, dude, I'm sure you're not perfect, man. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, and you just have to say, you don't want to make yourself look bad. And the worst question is, what is your strengths and what is your weaknesses? It's like, well, what is your strengths and what's your weaknesses? You know what I mean? Like, but we have to sit there because it's like I'm like I'm like, I need the job. Well, you need somebody too, right? But they act like they don't need you or something. You know what I mean? It's like, well, then why you? If you don't need nobody, then why are you hiring? Why are you interviewing me? I don't know. I'm just rambling on about a bunch of stuff, but whatever.